Hi, my name is Gay from Spirit Walker Crystals and Essential Oils, and welcome to my introduction to crystals today. So we're going to start by looking at where and when it all began. So the planet Earth formed at a distance from the Sun that allowed both light and heavy elements to combine. The larger atoms sank downwards to create the planet's core of iron and nickel. And the core is surrounded by a layer of molten metal. This layer is 1800 miles thick and composed of many layers of fluid and swirling rock. The outermost layer is the crust, and it's a thin layer of rock that makes up the Earth's continents. So the crust itself is less than 25 miles thick over most of its surface, and it is formed from the superheated rocks such as granite and basalt that welled up through the cracks in the surface layers. Rocks formed in this way are called igneous, which means formed by fire. So this is a cross-section of what the Earth looks like inside, and we can see all the molten lava as it comes up through the Earth there. And as the superheated gases and liquids rise to the surface, they begin to cool in the cracks and the crevices of the surrounding rocks. And as they cool, they crystallize into sparkling and coloured minerals, which we all know as these beautiful crystals. So let's think about where we can find crystals. We can find them within the earth. They can be found in streams where they've been dislodged from surrounding rocks. They can be found in caves. They can even be grown in laboratories. So we mentioned there about crystals being grown in laboratories, and here we have two elephants. On the left we have opalite, and on the right we have goldstone. Both of these crystals are very firm favourites on our lives. And yet, which one of these do you think is the unnatural one? Which one of these do you think was started in a laboratory? And the answer is both of them. Both of these are man-made crystals. And yet they both have equal healing qualities that we can use within crystal healing. So let's have a look at the history of crystal healing. And the oldest crystal so far discovered has been dated to 4.4 billion years old. And the first known use of crystals by human was during the Stone Age, when flint was used in tools and weapons. And later the Mayans used obsidian as sharp-edged knives and spears, and also used it for its magical and scrying mirrors to see into the future. And there is evidence of crystals being used as a source of healing in Egypt as early as 2000 BC. So let's think about the crystal vibrations. And many people find that they are instinctively drawn to a particular crystal. And many discover that they can actually feel the crystals vibrating. And this is felt as a tingling sensation when held. And many people often report of feeling better after using crystals. And this could be due to the placebo effect of the mind and the power of positive thinking. Alternatively, it could be possible that the crystal energy is having a physical effect on our bodies and actually balancing and realigning the atoms within the body itself. So let's have a look at the scientific approach. All solids are made up of atoms, molecules, and ions. And these particles contain energies that move in all three states. And these include gas, liquid, and solids. So let's look at these individually. We'll start with gas. These particles can move about freely and randomly, and they move but have no particular connection with other particles. And then we look at liquid. These particles are more compressed, and they do have a relationship with other particles, but they have no regular form. They have room to move about freely, giving liquid its fluid form. And lastly, solids, which crystals are. These have particles which are closely compacted together in a regular formation. However, they still have a small amount of space around them, allowing for the tiny amount of movement. And it is this movement or vibration that some humans can pick up on when they're actually handling the crystals. So let's have a look at crystal formation. So atoms arrange themselves in regular and repeated patterns in a process known as atomic bonding. And there are only 7 ways in which these atoms align themselves. And these are known as triclinic, monoclinic, orthorhombic, tetragonal, triagonal, hexagonal, and cubic. So when we're working with the energy of crystals, we really should know a little bit about the chakra system. So let's look at the purpose of the chakras. And they are able to transform the higher vibrational energy known as chi into a lower vibrational energy so that we can use it in the body. So they kind of work like transformers. And chakra comes from the Sanskrit word meaning wheel or to spin. And there are 7 major chakras. And those of you who are doing our chakra course will know that I talk about 13 chakras, but there are 7 major ones which we're going to speak about today. And each vibrate to a specific colour and sound, and each connect to a different layer of the aura, and each relate to particular organs. And you can see here that there's a picture of the internal structure of the body. And here you can see on the right hand side, there's a picture of the man where you've got all the colours of the chakras on him, and they point to the parts of the body where they are related to. So let's think about how you can choose your crystals. So you might want to think about which one is calling you, and this doesn't matter whether you're in a physical shop or whether you're online. If you are in a physical shop, you could pick each one up and feel them and feel which one feels right for you. You could think about what your needs are and then link those needs to the relevant chakra. For example, if you suffer from asthma, we know that the lungs are connected to the heart chakra. So you might want to be looking at crystals that are actually the same colour that is related to the heart chakra. So you'd be looking for green crystals, for example. So let's have a look at the different crystal styles that there are available to us. We can have tumbled crystals. We can have natural or raw crystals. And these can come in the form of clusters, such as the clear quartz that you can see in the background. You could get a druze like amethyst, where you get a bed of crystals. And you can see that in the top right-hand corner. We can get points. Points can be polished or natural. Points direct energies. Or we can get chunks of crystals, such as the beautiful rose quartz. We can also get crystals in the style of wands. They can be polished into different shapes and carvings, such as Buddhas and angels. And many crystals are made into jewellery in the form of pendants, bracelets, rings and earrings. And these are a great way for us to have the energy of crystals with us all day long. So once you have your crystals home, you need to think about how you're going to look after them. You need to cleanse them about once a month in general, or if you use them for healing purposes on other people, you'll need to cleanse them after every use. So let's look at the various ways in which you can cleanse your crystals. So you could hold them under running water. Please be mindful that not all crystals are suitable to be cleansed in this way. Crystals like selenite and calcite are examples of crystals that do not fare well in water. As you hold your crystals under the water, use your mind to visualize all the negative energies being washed away down the sink. Use your mind also to visualize the negative energy changing back into positive as it reaches Mother Earth, as there is enough negative energy out there without us adding more to it. You could use sound to cleanse your crystals in the form of tincture bells, and these are small metal cymbals that you ching together and wave them about over your crystals. You might also want to use a singing bowl, as these are also a good way of cleansing your crystals with sound. It's also a great way to cleanse a large amount of crystals at the same time, as the energy of the singing bowl ripples out throughout the room, cleansing all your crystals. You could run your crystals through smoke, such as using sage or incense, but some crystals, such as selenite, could pick up the smoke particles and it could end up discolouring your crystals. You could place them in a bowl of sea salt for 6 hours, maybe some more, but be mindful that the salt can be abrasive for some of the more delicate crystals. Visualization is a great way to cleanse quite a lot of crystals all at the same time. You could meditate, and within your meditation, you could gather up all your crystals, maybe into a basket, and take them to a lovely waterfall to wash them. Then maybe allow them to dry in the grass or on the rocks, allowing the sun to energize them all at the same time. You could choose to bury them in the earth, but be mindful that you could lose them. Small animals could dig them up, or you could forget where you've buried them. If you're going to use this way to cleanse your crystals, it is best to use a small pot with earth in it, and then you won't lose them. As a real treat, you may want to wash them in the sea, but be mindful to keep a tight hold of them, because if a large wave comes along, it could knock them out of your hands, and they will be returned to the ocean for safekeeping. This list is by far extensive, and there are far many ways that you can actually cleanse your crystals. My personal way is by using a singing bowl, and when they get dusty, I then give them a quick wash under running water, or even give them a little bath in some baby bath. So once we've cleansed our crystals, we then want to energize them. So let's look at the ways in which we could energize our crystals. We could place them outside in the sunlight for 6 to 12 hours. Please be mindful that some crystals do fade in direct sunlight, such as amethyst. You could place them outside in the moonlight. The full moon is a great time to actually energize your crystals, and you could leave them out overnight. You could place them inside a cathedral or on a druse with multiple points, such as an amethyst druse. You could place them within a grid with all the points facing inwards to energize your crystals. You could use your mind to energize them. Or if you are Reiki trained, you could use your Reiki symbols. The Chakras would be a great one to use. So once you've cleansed and energized your crystals, you then want to program them. You may want to have a ritual to welcome your crystals, and you could do this by lighting a candle and some incense and blessing them in the light so that they can do only the highest good. But overall, you need to talk to them. Just tell them what it is that you want them to do. I'd like to touch slightly on storing your crystals. Here you can see a picture of a lovely blue case at the top there, and we can see on the right hand side that there's a nice display of crystals in the open. It is really not good to store your crystals in a box out of sunlight or out of the way from anything, because they're really social, and crystals like to be seen and to be touched and to be with us. So keep them around you, enjoy them. One of the questions I get asked quite regularly is, can I put my crystals together? And the answer is yes, you can. I put all my crystals together and I've never had any problems. I just tell them to play nicely. However, you do need to be a little bit careful because some crystals will scratch other crystals. In 1822, there was a German mineralogist called Friedrich Mohs, and he devised the Mohs scale of hardness, which we still use today. So the scale of hardness goes from 1 to 10, 1 being the softest crystals and 10 being the hardest. The way this scale was devised was really simple, and he did it by rubbing 2 crystals together to see which one scratched the other. The one that got scratched was deemed to be the lower Mohs scale than the other one that did the scratching. This means that if you put 2 crystals together of different Mohs scales, some of your crystals could get scratched. If you put together a clear quartz and a fluorite tumble stone in a bowl, one is unlikely to scratch the other as they're both polished with smooth surfaces. However, if you were to put a fluorite sphere with a quartz cluster together, the quartz is highly likely to scratch the sphere. It won't cause any issues to the healing qualities of the stone, it'll just be how it looks. So let's think of a few things that we can actually do with our crystals. So we can gain information by linking with the diva or the spirit of the crystal by meditating with them. We can use them to cleanse the aura, balance our chakras, remove blockages in people or places. We can harmonise our bodies or harmonise the space in which we live. We can protect an area or a room with the crystals, or ourselves. We can balance energies within a room or a space. And we can heal emotional or physical issues. We can raise energies within a room, raise energies within the body. We can energize other crystals with the crystals. We can cleanse other crystals. And we could have them because they're just lovely to look at. So let's look at the ways in which we can use our crystals. So we could position them within the room or our aura. We could lay them on our bodies, as in crystal healing. We can lay them within the aura, under or around a therapy bed or a chair. We can create crystal waters or elixirs. We could just carry them with us. We could wear them as jewellery. We could throw some of them in the bath with us. We can use them to create aura sprays. We can sleep with them, meditate with them. We can decorate our home with them. But most of all, let's enjoy them. So let's look at how we can create crystal waters and crystal elixirs so that we can use them in diffusers with essential oils. So first of all, you need to get a jug or a glass container to place your crystals in. Cover them with boiled or spring water for up to 6 to 12 hours. If you've got crystals such as selenite that cannot do well in water for long periods of time, place them around the outside of the container. You can also do the same thing if you've got toxic crystals such as malachite. You can then use the crystal water straight into your diffuser, or you can drink it. If you want to keep some for a later date, you can have a small elixir bottle and add 5 ml of rubbing alcohol to keep the mixture bug-free. By adding the alcohol, it also acts as a preservative so you can keep it for up to 6 months. When you then want to use it in a diffuser, you can just add 5 to 10 drops of your elixir into the diffuser water along with your essential oils. So let's look at how you can make a spritz or an aura spray. And I made this one for the bedroom. And I had a 50 ml bottle, it's a spray bottle which I got from Amazon. And then to that I added some essential oils. So I put 7 drops of vetiver, 5 drops of lavender, 5 drops of clary sage, 5 drops of ylang ylang and 2 drops of eucalyptus. But you can put your own blend in if you want to. And then to that I added 10 drops of amethyst and 10 drops of white howler elixir. I put in there about 10 mils of rubbing alcohol, and that is to keep it actually bug free, and it acts as a preservative as well. And then fill the rest of the bottle up with cleansed water, either out of a bottle or out of the kettle. And always remember to label your bottle. You can see on mine, on the bottom picture, I've got bedtime written on it. And on the back, I've got little stickers of all the different oils that I actually put into the spray. We're going to look at what is a wand and what you can do with it. So wand is really just an extension of your finger, and it's used to direct energy. So let's have a look at a little few things which we can do with it. So you can remove negative energy by rotating it in an anti-clockwise manner. You can put in positive energy by rotating it in a clockwise manner. So when you take anything out that is negative, you must refill that space with something positive. You can use it to draw symbols with, or smooth down the aura. You may want to use it in your cosmic ordering or your manifestation rituals. You can use them to repair holes or tears in the aura. And you can massage the aura or the physical body with some types of wands. You can cleanse your home with them, and maybe then spray the walls with love. You're only limited by your own imagination as to what you can do with a wand. So pendulums are just a weight on the end of a chain. But there are so many things that you can do with a pendulum. It is a great divination tool. So the first thing you need to do is find out your yes and find out your no. And then you can ask it yes/no questions. Then you can use it to find lost objects. You could use it to balance your chakras or remove negative energy. You could infuse positive energy. You can use it to remove discomfort from the body. And you can use it to find out if you have any allergies. You can even use it to do your own past life regression. You can look for blockages in your energy system, or you can look for blockages in your home. It's great fun. So I've given you an overall introduction to crystals there, and I'm hoping that you may then go on and want to learn more about crystals. So I'm going to tell you about a few courses that we actually do that kind of go along the same lines as what we spoke about today. So we do a 10-week pendulum course, and this is released weekly. And as I said, it runs over 10 weeks, and it'll take you through all the things that we spoke about on the previous slides, such as yes/no questions, finding lost objects, balancing chakras, past life regression, all those things that we mentioned. So we also do a crystal healing course as well, and this is run over 15 weeks. And this will give you a certificate at the end of it so that you can actually do crystal healing. If you're looking for something a little more in-depth, we do have a 2-year diploma in advanced crystal healing. And this obviously goes into a lot more detail than the basic crystal healing course. And we also have a 17-week chakra course. We spoke about some of the chakras earlier on in this class, but during the 17-week chakra course, we talk about all 17 chakras. All our courses are certified and accredited by the IPHM. You will get a PDF certificate at the end of it, but there is an option for you to get a hard copy certificate which you can put on your wall, which has a gold seal and has been signed as well. So if you'd like to know more about our courses and our up-to-date prices, you can find them on our main website at Spiritwalker Crystals and essentialoils.co.uk. As well as our main website, you can find us on Facebook. If you search us at Spiritwalker Crystals and Essential Oils, you'll find us. And we're usually there on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 3 o'clock where we do a live stream. And we hope to see you there. So I'd like to thank you for joining me today, and I hope you've enjoyed what I've had to say about the crystals. If you'd like to join me on any other of my free courses, you can book onto them at www.calendly.com/Spirit Walker Crystals.